This is the ultimate fan chat, and we are talking about the predictions of Cowboy versus Edwards. Hello, my name is Chris.
And I'm Dan. And just before we start, I gotta say, I love the intro. It makes me laugh and smile every time. All right,
It's a good
let's
intro,
do
isn't it?
this.
Definitely not bad. Alright, so let's get into this. So, the card we've got today is, what is it, Singapore? UFC Singapore, Cowboy versus Edwards as the main event. We all know who they are because Cowboy fights every second week, and well, maybe people don't know Leon Edwards, but he's not a bad fighter. His last fight he beat Peter Sabata, which that's no easy task. He also beat Brian Barberina, who's the guy that choked out Sage Northcutt with a weird looking head and arm choke that didn't look like a head and arm choke. It looked like I don't know, what did it look like?
Super Sage
Super,
Northcutt.
true.
Super.
Super. Because he looked like a Super Saiyan. Alright, so where should we start from this? Should we start with Jake Matthews?
Jake Matthews, our boy, hometown boy. We've trained with him a couple times at our gym. He used to come down spar with Peter. Uh, ages ago, well, long before he made his UFC debut. And from what I've seen, Jake is huge. Jake is huge.
Yeah, he's a big boy now,
But
isn't he?
he's what?
He's a big boy now. He's put on
Yeah.
just a bit of size to say the
Yes.
least.
Yeah. The last time I saw him, he was like 2 times my width. And I was like, well,
He was always a big dude. I remember
all
when he
right.
came down, he was still fighting at lightweight. He was a
Yeah.
solid
He
guy.
was. He's a big guy. Alrighty. He's fighting Shinzo Anzai.
Yes, Shinzo Anzai. What does his record look like? He's got a 10-1
10 and 2.
10-2 record, sorry. And he's had
Yep.
3 fights in the
Lost
UFC.
his debut, but not went on to knock out Roger Zapata, and then won a unanimous decision against fellow Aussie Luke Zumeo. So should be good. What are your thoughts about this fight, my friend?
Well, I've never actually seen this Shinzo Anzai fight before. Jake Matthews looked good in his last fight, and he fought that Li Jing Liang, who's on the main card, and beat him. That's a good effort. He went into that fight as the underdog, and he won despite the fact he got eye gouged like crazy. Like that Li Jinglang, like he stuck his fingers knuckle deep into Jake Matthews' eye, and Jake Matthews didn't flinch, didn't do anything. He just continued fighting. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to pick Jake Matthews here.
I agree.
I'm
think
also very
looking
biased, but I'll accept
yeah,
that.
we're both Aussies. Yeah, both Aussies, both cheering for the hometown boy. Just looking from the stats here, Jake Matthews is 4 inches taller and has a 3-inch reach advantage. From what I understand, this guy is a bit of a wrestler. Jake really had problems with guys in the stand-up, and also Kevin Lee, who just picked him up and
But that's Kevin
took
Lee.
him to the ground.
We've seen what Kevin Lee's done to a lot
Yeah.
of guys, and James Vick.
Yes.
James Vick messed him up with the stand up. I'm pretty sure. I could be
Jake
wrong.
is still young, very young. He's learning, so every time he fights, we see him grow. I was really impressed with his last performance against the eye gouger, a little.
Yeah, man, that was
A lot of
that was a grim eye gouge.
So I'm going with you, mate. Following Jake Matthews. Love the guy,
With
and
the
hope he
23-year-old
wins.
Jake Matthews
Hmm.
over the 32-year-old Shinzo Anzai. Be interesting. All right, so that's our pick, Jake Matthews, both of us. I guess the next one, I don't know who he's fighting either, but Teruto Ishihara.
Teruto Ishihara.
Yes, against you can say that one. Petr Yan.
Peter?
Really? Is it
Messing
Peter?
with you. No, no. I'm messing with you.
Petr.
Peter Young. I don't know. We need another Slavic. We need to have Peter to come down and pronounce.
Yes. What is he doing, man? He should be helping us out with this one. This is his homeboy. Well, not really. This guy's from
For,
Russia.
for our for our viewers who don't know, Peter is from Croatia. He's a fighter from our gym. And yeah. So I'm going to pick out Peter Yan simply just the fact that I am not impressed with Ishihara. I'm really, really not impressed.
Oh wow, really?
I don't think, yes, I don't think he's top level. I think, his antics are entertaining. But just watching his fights, I go, this guy is a journeyman. He's never going to be champ. Peter Yan was champ at ACB, and he's moving and making his Octagon debut at the UFC. And I think Peter gets this. Peter gets this simply because I don't think Ishihara is at that level. I really don't. I've been very disappointed with him. So that's my prediction, mate.
No, that's a good prediction. One that I don't want to go against because it has a lot of logic behind it. But I'm gonna have to go with Ishihara simply because I don't think he's gonna allow himself to lose in front of all his ladies. It's just,
All right.
it's simple. It's simple. It's simple testosterone. That's what's going to get him through it. The fact that his lady's going to be out there watching him in the crowd, and he knows that to get that threesome, he's got to win this fight. So I'm picking Ishihara based on the threesome. That's my pick.
Alrighty.
All right. So the next one is we just did the main event of the Fight Pass prelims, and now we're going on to the main card, which is still a Fight Pass card. And that's this. So the first fight of that is Li Jingliang versus Diachi Abe.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Abe lost his last fight by decision to Aussie-born Luke Zamiu. So they're both coming off losses, actually. Both Lee and
Both to Aussie
Abe.
guys.
Both to Aussie guys. Australia #1, boys.
Yes, Australia represent. Respect.
But it's going to be interesting because Lee has that, how can I say, aggression. He obviously has that will not to lose and will do anything, eye gouging, anything not to lose. So he certainly has heart. But same time, I don't know. What do you think, mate?
Well, I've never seen this Diachi fight, and I quite liked the way Ling fought Jake Matthews. I thought he fought really, really well. Jake Matthews kind of just willed himself to win in that fight. It felt as though Lee was the more technical fighter, but Jake Matthews, like coming up to welterweight, he seemed strong. He seemed really, really strong, and he just somehow willed his way to a victory. I can't remember. Was that a decision?
Was James able
Yeah,
to
it was
take
a
him
decision.
down?
Sorry?
No, was James able to take him down? Was he
You mean
able to
Jake?
take Lee down or not? Jake,
Um,
sorry, Jake. Yeah.
That's a good question. I can't. Um, don't remember. I know the eye gouge was during a guillotine that Jake had on Lee. I assume that was because Lee went for the takedown, but it could have been during a transition, and Lee could have swept and then got himself caught in a guillotine. I don't know. I cannot remember, but I'm going to choose Lee simply because it's the only fighter out of those two fighters that I've seen. And he looked good.
Alrighty.
He didn't look bad. And he came into that fight as the favorite.
That's true.
And
I
he's beat guys like Zach Otto, who just previously knocked out. Who's that? Who's the journeyman? he retired. Okay, I'm not going to remember. Actually, no, I will remember because I can click on his name and it says Mike Pyle. There we go. He just knocked out Mike Pyle. I think that still means something. He also beat Frank Camacho, who just goes out there and goes balls to the wall until he gets finished. And I think, once again, I think that
Mm-hmm.
means something. He also beat Diego Lima, which isn't a bad win.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alrighty. I'm with Abe simply because he's younger, and from what I'm reading, he's a judo black belt. But he's won most of the fights by stand-up percentage, which is weird. But alrighty, we'll see how it goes.
okay,
Let
well,
us move on.
I'm going the brown belt Li Jingliang.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's move on.
All right. Wait, you said so? You're definitely going Abe.
Yep, I'm going Abe.
Fair enough. Okay, moving on to Jessica Rose Clark versus Jessica I.
Mm-hmm. This is a hard one. It's really hard because the women's division is so shallow. It really, really is.
Especially flyweight just
Well,
began.
yeah. So, what are your thoughts, mate?
My thoughts. Jessica I, she came in to the UFC with a decently big name and really hasn't done anything with it. So I'm not too high on her anymore. So and Jessica Rose Clark, she's beat Beck Rawlings, who another Aussie, so respect to that. She beat Paige Van Zandt, which that's another good win.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna have to go with
three
Jessica
five.
Rose Clark because she's
Same.
shown she's been able to beat names. She's been able to win when the bright lights are on. Jessica I hasn't. She as soon as she gets put in that spot, she can't seem to overcome that obstacle. Like she went up against Sarah McMahon, couldn't overcome that. She went up against Misha Tate, couldn't overcome that. Went against Juliana Pena, couldn't overcome that. Went against Betchko Hare, and could not overcome that. In saying that, those are big names. Those are really tough chicks, but she couldn't do it. So
Big names, top picks. Are they
so
Misha Tate? Yes. But Beth Correa, nah. So I'm with you, mate. I'm going with Jessica Clark. She's riding a 3-fight win streak. She has momentum behind her. Jessica Clark on one. Yep. We both agree in agreement. Jessica Rose Clark should win this fight.
100%. That's what we're going. Okay, so seems we're both agreeing. How about we say, is it by finish or is it by a decision?
Decision, I'd say. On women's division, finding a finish, especially at the lightest weight, very unlikely.
It is true. Neither of these chicks are known for their finishing ability.
True, true.
I mean,
Let's move on to the Aussie.
okay, let's
Tyson
do that.
Pedro versus SB. 35 versus 26. Are we seeing a shift? Are we seeing a passing of the torch? Are we seeing the new generation versus the old?
Oh, that's a good question. Going 6'3" OSP against 6'3" Tyson Pedro. I didn't know Tyson Pedro was so goddamn tall. Wow, he's a big dude.
Mm.
Man,
Mhm,
I really want
mhm.
to pick Tyson Pedro, but he's still very green. As we were talking about in our previous podcast, you want to have him go up against a few cans before you put them to this level.
Yes, the experience definitely favoring OSP at
Yeah.
15, at 22 to 11 and 7 to 1.
Well, let's put it this way: 33 fights to what is it? 8 fights of Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro's had 8 fights, so 8. The OSP's 33, which
Yes,
experience doesn't always win you the fight, but I know I feel like it's gonna win. It's gonna win OSP this fight. I really want to pick Tyson Pedro because I want him to win because he's a fellow Aussie. But
yes,
I'm gonna have to go with OSP with the experience and the quality of opponents that he's fought. I mean, when you fought John Jones to a
I
decision on late notice, I'm gonna have to side with you.
hmm I agree.
And
We're
with
in agreement.
and with
Like,
a broken arm.
yes, I I really want to pick Tyson Pedro, but I think even with the OSP being 35 years old, and is no longer in his peak, I still am gonna pick OSP. I don't believe Tyson is in the same class. I really don't. I hope he proves me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, well, Tyson's known for his ground game, but OSP always catches everyone with that. What is it? The Von Prue choke that he calls it,
Yes, on flute choke.
but he calls it the Von Prue.
Okay.
Is that what he calls it? The Von Prue choke because he's done it more times than Jason Von Flue.
Yes.
All right.
Well, so it goes. Yeah.
Well, I reckon it might actually be a submission finish. I reckon it's gonna be tough to finish Tyson Pedro with a submission, but yeah, he's been put up to co-main event in Singapore. I'm saying OSP finishes it via submission in the. I'm gonna say early in the third. I'm gonna say he's gonna tire him out with all the grappling. OSP is gonna tire Tyson Pedro out, and by the time he gets to the third round, OSP is gonna finish it.
Well,
In saying that, I
I'm
hope I'm
hoping
wrong.
for a decision. I don't want to see our boy getting hurt. I want to see him grow, get stronger, and hopefully become world class, like a championship level caliber fighter with more experience.
Okay, are you gonna pick how it's gonna finish, or are you just gonna choose a winner and a
Yeah,
loser?
I see. I'm hoping it is by decision.
Okay, fair enough.
Hoping it's by decision, but light heavyweights, I think we're looking at a finish here, boys. But yeah, finish by OSP. It's sad. Nah, I'm going and staying with decision. Fuck it, staying with decision. I love my boy. Staying with decision. All right,
Fair enough.
let's
Fair
move
enough.
on.
Let's move on to the
Let's
main event. Donald
main
Cowboy
event.
Cerrone versus Leon. What's his nickname? Edwards.
Leon
Rocky.
Edwards.
Leon Rocky Edwards. Why does everyone choose Rocky? Come on. Let's be a little bit more
It's a
original
great.
here.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on this fight, my friend?
Okay, well, let's have a look at how many fights Cowboy's had. This is another guy with 44 fights.
hmm
Jesus. He's fought 44 times. And he started his career in 2006 against Nate Moore. And back then he was just a kickboxer and he finished it with a triangle. Wow. He's just an animal. He's an absolute animal. Okay,
Yes.
and Leon Edwards, what's his record looking like? So he's had 18 fights, so he's well past that stage of still being pretty green. He's now the type of fighter that he's going to be. So whatever he is now, he's only going to slightly improve on that. I
hmm
like Donald Cerrone a lot. I really like him in this fight. I feel like his striking is just so goddamn crisp.
It
And that
is. It's beautiful.
that lead that like that switch kick is just so quick.
hmm
It's so quick and sexy. His submission game's fantastic. He's got good wrestling. So when he wants to take the fight to the ground, he's got very good timing in his takedowns. He's not like a uh, Khabib. He's not like a Khabib who like grabs a hold of you and strings a lot of takedowns together and then finally gets it. If he gets into that wall, then he normally loses it. But he's very good at doing the GSP takedown where it's just a perfect time takedown. Bang, they're on the floor.
Yes,
So
that is true.
I feel as though Donald Cerrone is going to win this one, especially after coming off so many losses against Darren Till and who else? Wait, who? I need to go back and check out who he lost against. He had 3 losses in a row. Till,
hmm
Robbie Lawler, and George Masvidal.
Okay.
Those are some big guys.
Well, yes.
So I'm choosing
Aside
Cerrone.
from George, George is not a big guy. Alrighty, let us talk What I think that Donald Cerrone is going to lose this. I think that what we're seeing here is an aging warrior, no longer in his peak. And, and on the flip side, we're seeing someone rising up. So that's where you have the intersection, in a sense. So I think that Donald Cerrone is world class. I think that he's champion caliber fighter, but he's just going downhill now. He's no longer at his optimal peak performance due to age, and father time catches everyone. Whereas Leon is just in his prime now. I think Rocky wins this. I really do.
I think he wins. That's a bold pick. I like it. I like it a lot. How do you think he's going to win?
I think Rocky just boxes him up, and yeah, best on stand up, decision, knockout, either or.
It's a 5-round fight, so
yeah,
you think he's going to go all 5 rounds?
Maybe. I can't see Donald finishing this. I can see him finishing in the first 2 rounds. I can't see him finishing on the third, fourth. Whereas I can see Rocky finishing in every single round and just being safe. So, yeah, I think the new generation, what we're seeing is passing of the torch. New generation coming in, old generation going out.
Okay, well, you're choosing Leon Edwards. I'm choosing Donald Cerrone. I'm going to say a 4th-round submission, rear naked choke. I reckon he's going to touch him up on the feet. He's going to hurt him on the feet. Leon Edwards is going to go for a sketchy takedown, get his back taken, and it's going to be over. That's what I think. I think Donald Cerrone is going to lose the first round, potentially get knocked down a few times. It's going to be a very tough first round for Donald Cerrone, but I think he's going to make it through and he's going to finish it in the 4th.
Alrighty, Leon by TKO. Here's some stand up, finishing it, round and pound.
There we go. And that's it. That's our predictions for UFC Singapore. Very excited.
So am I.
All right.
You should come over, mate.
Yep, I'll come over and we'll watch it together, and maybe we'll end up doing another chat discussing the fights themselves, what we thought of them.
Sounds good. Or we can just commentate it live.
Yeah, we could do that too. Awesome.
Thank you for watching. We have been sexy, and you have been watching.
Ciao. That is correct. Ciao, ciao.